is another topic, very interesting, is about AI. So today we cover blockchain, we cover city, we cover digital twin, and now we come to AI. So the upcoming topic is about racing into the future, AI and spatial digital twin in smart cities, HKSTP. So HKSTP means Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks Corporation. So it is our honor to have few speakers from different countries, especially Hong Kong and Taiwan. And in this session, let me introduce the moderator and the panelists a bit. All right, first we have Eugene. He is the CTO and co-founder of Data AI, a Hong Kong-based AI startup with a vision to build a smart retail ecosystem that entails computer vision and business intelligence. So it is more than AI, and it is also BI. And we also have Dr. John Chan. He is CEO and founder of Maxus Technology Limited. As a renowned expert in environment and engineering, John participated in NASA transport, and chemical evolution over Pacific aircraft mission during 2001 until 2004, and was nominated for the ENI award. Next, we have Shaker. He is the COO of Locus Connect, a Taiwan-based company which drives Industry 4.0 innovation by providing accurate location-based services to industrial factories and warehouses. Last but not least, we have Lucille. He is a business analyst at Blackstone Consulting. I met a few of them, and they are brilliant people. So let us welcome the speakers. And Lucille, I shall pass the floor to you.
Thank you, Angela.
Welcome.
Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining us, and it's also my pleasure to have all of you here. Okay, I'm Lucille, business analyst from Blackstone Consulting, the moderator of this session, Racing into the Future, AI, Spatial, Digital Twins in Smart Cities. But this session is not just only AI and Spatial Digital Twin, we also have indoor tracking from Locus Connect, actually. Okay, so cities across the world, they are racing towards to implement new technologies, and they invest billions of dollars to adopt new technologies to promise us to help us to connect and to be more efficient and sustainable. But the thing is, what is the experience like in smart cities for the people who is adapting to this AI, indoor tracking, and also digital twin technologies? So we have wonderful panelists here today from Hong Kong and also Taiwan. So let's just kickstart. Maybe Eugene, I want to share about what's the challenges that you faced in the AI perspective in addressing need to be addressed in property management, and how does your technology help them to overcome these obstacles?
Sure. So we help a lot of different shopping malls and property management groups to help them to evaluate the business performance, as well as to help them to boost their visitors, or to help them to formulate better marketing campaigns. So based on the visitor behavior. So our technology aims at a very easy setup in terms of monitoring visitor behaviors, patterns, traffic, etc., through CTVs connecting to our cloud. So there are actually a lot of different challenges, in terms of how we help them to grow their business faster. So one of them is to minimize the setup cost of how they use, or the effort on how the users can actually use our product. So our setup is very simple and fast. Based on each camera, it takes less than 5 minutes to set up, and maybe say the whole premises consists of 10 to 20 cameras, then it takes roughly an hour just to set up the whole floor, and then they're good to go, and they can start using our software to see how their visitors actually come into their shopping mall, where do they stay, and what's demographics. Are there generally more male than female, or what's the age group, etc. So our innovation here is that we put everything on cloud, so that the data collection becomes much more seamless, and then we can focus on working on the business intelligence with the client hand in hand. And we also utilize the existing infrastructure, so they don't need to install anything on top of what they already have. So the focus is switched to how we can formulate better like data-driven strategies and how to enhance their visitor experience. And like our aim is just to help any property managers or any data analysts out there who is working in the property management scope to digitally transform the offline space into somewhere like into any kinds of such as like how you operate a website with Google Analytics. We want to be the offline version of that, and we aim to help like every shopping mall, no matter how well their infrastructure is. We help them from 0 to 100.
Okay, thank you, Eugene. Okay, so like from data side is more on collecting data and others and gain insights from the shoppers shopping behavior, right? So how about from the spatial digital twin point of view? Maybe John, you want to step in and share more about that?
Well, we actually indoor map and indoor navigation positioning and navigation company, and so we provide a kind of a geospatial type of data, and especially for the indoors in terms of the structure of the shopping mall or the MTR, or I mean the subway or the hospital, you know, whatever, you know, inside the building. We want to capture every data, you know, from the structural, okay, from the point of interest, for example, like a shop, or even we want to have a data bank on the electrical box, okay, switch box, that type of information, all in GIS system. So it's basically, to answer your question, T, is simple. Actually, we are like more digital twins, okay, but we are more data, you know, data bank of our structure, okay. So we provide, you know, whatever you want to have the data, okay, no matter it's a semantic form, I mean, in terms of like the Google Street View, okay, or just like the Google Map, okay, or Apple Map, the digital form, okay. And then we also have the Wi-Fi fingerprinting type of a signal to collect those data and then put it all in the same system, so that whenever you want to have like Eugene, if you want to have a kind of application for the analytic pedestrian flow in the shopping mall, then you can also use our SDK as a services for the app or for the web end, you know. So I mean, in terms of like, I would say we are not traditionally like industrial digital twins, okay, but we are more lightweight, more connectable, that kind of data services, okay, and then we put it as a indoor map services, and then we put it as a indoor positioning and navigation services. No matter if it's a full a kind of a indoor positioning system, or we can do it more like a visual map, or something like a 360-degree type of navigation system. So in terms of you know, human application, is more just like more digital twins, okay, for them to have a very easy to use type of system. But also we can also provide that kind of data, okay, or services for the robotic type of application. Then in that sense, that is more close to the so-called digital twins traditionally defined, okay, in a scientific world. So I mean, I would say we are providing that kind of indoor positioning or indoor map services, but in fundamentally we are a kind of a data infrastructure company. Okay, we help you to digitize everything, okay, and then to put it into the semantic form, okay, in indoor GIS system, okay, yeah, across to Android, and also the iOS, and also the IoT, that kind of platform. Yeah, I cut it short right here. Yeah.
It's okay. Thank you, John, for sharing. Okay, so when you share about the indoor mapping for the whole building, right? Let's learn more about, you know, the indoor mapping for like the warehouses and also factories. So Shakib, you want to step in and share more about what Locus Connect does and like what's the challenges that can be addressed, and also how does Locus Connect can help to overcome these challenges? Shakib, you're muted.
Sure. Thank you, Lisa. So like I think Eugene mentioned that indoor positioning and indoor tracking is very important for a smart city, especially for the buildings and malls, shopping centers. So likewise, a smart city should have a smart warehouse and also smart factories. Otherwise, it's even before the city becomes smart, the warehouse and factories already became smart. So that is where our technology comes in. So we are also an indoor tracking company, only 10 times more accurate than a traditional indoor tracking company. It's because we are more industrial, and we offer the actual industrial digital twin, which is useful and which is more accurate because the industry demands it. And then we like to track indoor assets ranging from people, vehicles, high-speed, low-speed drones, and even forklifts, asset material inside warehouse, whether it be in factories or in any kind of storage area. Now, specific to construction industry and also the property management, we solve a very big problem. While the property is being developed, any kind of property, there is a very big problem of material theft that is directly linked to the material cost. Because in low-income countries, especially Malaysia and India, in southeast part of the world, we have this problem of material theft, where the construction owner or the manager, he has a risk of losing out material. And then there is a big problem of automation of overtime calculation of workers, because the laborers, they lack of all the time in this kind of job. And then there is also a need of dynamic worker allocation. And because these industries are very harsh environment for any kind of technology to come in, you can't put any cameras or any kind of other technology other than something in which is industrial IoT. So that is where Locus solves the problem. In general, we provide like real-time health and safety monitoring of all the workers inside workforce, inside factories, inside warehouses. We reduce the labor cost directly by telling you who should work at what place and at what time, and increase the overall visibility on the job site. Yeah, I think now you have an idea what we try to do.
Okay, thank you, Shakib. So, okay, to all the panelists, so what are the opportunities that can be opened by indoor traceability, spatial, digital twin, and also AI? So maybe.
Well, maybe let me start a bit. Okay, I think we have been in this kind of industry for like 8 years. Okay, and then now we have offices in all over Asia, Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore. From our experiences, actually, when I try to start this kind of technology, I really find that in terms of property management, you don't really have a good system to anchor all those spatial data, and you in the old days you just depends on the blueprint, you know, some kind of engineering, you know, drawings. So, you know, just like me has a civil engineer background, I still cannot, you know, understand all those the kind of drawings. Okay, so not to need to mention about those fund and colleagues in the property management sector, right? Okay, and then you don't really have a good system for the operation and maintenance space. Okay, for like the design, I mean the BIM system or something like the kind of CAD system. Okay, it's very good for the design stage. Okay, or the building stage. Okay, but actually once you build up, okay, then you need to have much more information that is due to the renovation, due to the view application, you know, that type of data. You really don't have a kind of a good system to anchor all the data and then to make the data updated, okay, and then to make it more presentable to the ordinary people, not the professional engineers, right? And then to let the boss or the tenant, okay, to have a good view of all what is happening. So from that perspective, I really think that is a very good opportunities. Okay, you don't need to mention about the very detailed digital twins. Okay, that may facilitate metaverse application, but only talking about for the property management or for the business analytic in the shopping mall. Okay, or for the shopping mall that kind, or for the warehouse that kind of easy management. Okay. So I would say, just like Hong Kong, we have like 200K buildings with about with the height higher than 3 meters. Okay, but I mean, if you want to call a kind of data for the fire services department to use, okay, probably you need to call from 3 different government departments, okay, to get the all and that kind of drawings. Okay, that is very terrible. Okay, not to mention about for the ordinary that kind of property management application. I just want to keep it short to give 1 or 2 scenario that there. Okay, I mean. Digitalization is really important. Okay, whether you can have a simple system, a multi-connectable system. Okay, and then to let the general public or the front end colleagues to be able to use the data for whatever property management purposes. Okay, that is really crucial. Okay, and actually my experience not only in Hong Kong, okay, in mainland China or in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, okay, or even in the North America, I still cannot see that kind of rich data or updated data become available. Okay, and probably in a 5 years time, that kind of data would not, in a very sufficient manner, in the market. So that's why I think to answer Lucy, your question in short is actually I think that kind of if you call it as a digital twins, okay, or buildings, I mean there's a very good opportunity there. Yeah.
Thank you, John, for the sharing and very insightful information from you. How about Eugene? Do you want to share more on the AI perspective on this?
Sure. I think like in terms of opportunities for like a new value chain provided by like say with indoor traceability or like no matter it's from spatial digital twin or like other indoor tracking or by computer vision like us, I think like one thing that's very important for mall owners, property operators is that we get a lot of metrics that are actionable and we get measurable ROIs like return on investments in terms of like say for each action. So like the data itself, it's one thing, but the insights or like the implications behind the data is another. So like how we usually work with our clients is that we provide like a certain a few KPIs for them to like measure on and give recommendations accordingly based on like how the KPI performs. So one very common KPI we use to help like say for mall owners to evaluate their tenants is that the walk-in rate. So how many people actually passed by the store and how many people actually went into that store, like, or went into that tenant. So this is a very, very straightforward number. It's usually lies within like 1 or 2%, which is like, it sounds small, but if you imagine like every day the mall has like 100 or 200,000 people like going in, and 1% of that converting into a walk-in rate, it's like 1,000 people already. So like this number is very important to evaluate like how their tenants are performing based on their locations, whether they are in the entrance of a shopping mall or in like say other areas like maybe the cold zones, or if they're correlated to something else, let's say the F&B and the cinema, which usually goes hand in hand. So like we have these kinds of KPIs to measure, like help the mall operators to measure how each of the tenants or even say promotions, pop-up stores are performing. And the ROI comes in by having like say if there is a possibility to like adjust the leasing terms with certain tenants, or let's say in pop-up events, like it's becoming a thing in Hong Kong now where like every shopping mall every month they have new rotations of like pop-up tenants, and now that they can evaluate how these tenants are like these pop-up tenants are performing, they start to know like where to source another round of pop-up tenants. So like all these figures on top of their like very traditional way of operation, just based on the revenue of that tenant, gives them much more a more comprehensive view of the whole spectrum on how a single tenant is performing. So this lays the like groundwork for like how to formulate a data-driven strategy later on, no matter in leasing, operation, or like promotion. So like, let's say, I think I've covered most of them on the operation and leasing side, but in terms of like marketing or promotion side, one of the use case of like our technology Cyclops right now is to evaluate like say certain points of promotions. So like be it say a CRM like points redemption counter, or it could be some of the pop-up advertisements for certain tenants. So we can evaluate these areas engagement rate. How long has people been engaging here? Do they stop by and actually look at the ad, and where do they go afterwards? So like these kind of metrics actually help the operators to have like very practical numbers to work with, and by measuring the ROI, they know what's working and what needs to be improved like immediately after the event or after the campaign. So this helps our clients to become much more data driven and like completing the goal of how digital transformation should be leading to.
Okay, thank you, Eugene, for sharing how AI can actually increase efficiency for evaluating a property management performance. Okay, so for Shakib, maybe you want to share more about what are the opportunities for indoor traceability?
So I think indoor traceability is useful at all stages of a property, while it's being built, while it has been built, and when it's being used actually. So it does depend on what kind of property it is. It may be industrial, it may be a school, it may be a mall. So as per the construction style, which is the building of the property, the indoor traceability is useful when you have to track the real-time visibility related to the health and safety, especially of the workers. So if a worker fell, then how fast the emergency services should respond, and and because there are like certain regions inside the construction zone which are prohibited. So for example, if a crane operator is roaming around the area of somewhere else, or if someone else is trying to operate a crane, then that becomes a major risk for the whole property, and that might jeopardize the whole, in fact, the whole operation of that day. So that is also one case. And when afterwards the property gets ready, then certain applications like the as Dr. John mentioned, like indoor navigation, it becomes crucial if it's a mall, and if it's a stadium or something else. And other things like where data AI also useful is proximity marketing. So if you club the data of customers and mix it with the indoor data, indoor tracking data, then you can have really selling use cases like proximity marketing that is very hot, and other vertical applications also, like for example the worker monitoring inside the property that is taking care for the maintenance sector of the property management is also another use case, right?
Maybe I want to add a little bit about the AI part. I think for building digital twins or indoor tracking or positioning or navigation, I mean, to increase indoor traceability, I think the technology has been there for years, right? Based on UWB, RFID, beacon or Wi-Fi triangulation, NORA, that kind of system, have been there for quite a long time. But actually, when I came into this area, I really think that a lot of solution, probably in our group, we start with the beacon type of solution, okay, and then using some kind of engineering floor plan to make up a kind of apps for application. But I find it out that that's not a scalable, type of solution, okay, and So at that time, I think back to 6 or 7 years ago, and then we start to use the AI and then to build, the map data to use the visual map and then to use the machine learning type of technology and then to increase or to update all those point of interest, that type of information, and then we need to train the ML, using a lot of data, is a good demonstration of how the AI or ML can increase the efficiency. Okay, and then also we develop our machine learning, algorithm, for the indoor positioning, that type of system using just the Wi-Fi signal from the existing routers or AP, access point, that type of infrastructure. Okay, and then it turns out that we have been able to achieve some kind of the kind of very top efficiency of producing the map and the positioning system, the navigation system. Okay, and probably just to give you one example, like in Hong Kong, before they use a iBeacon type of positioning solution, in Hong Kong airport, they need to spend something like 20 million Hong Kong dollars. Okay, if I'm not wrong, in the Taipei station, probably they also spend like more or less the same amount of money for that kind of trial, in Taipei too, if I'm not wrong. Okay, but actually for our system now using in Hong Kong airport, probably we just need to undergraduate and then to spend 1 week, and then we can produce that similar kind of accuracy and precise that kind of solution, for the Hong Kong airport. So I think in terms of cost, probably we just need 1/10 of the cost of the original traditional method, right? That is a good demonstration, how the AI and ML can facilitate this kind of a new application for the new economy, right? That for the future, right? And then to match with the theme of the discussion, because as a scientist, as a want to develop that kind of algo model, I really think, okay, this kind of a technology into our traditional, property management or industry would help increase a lot the efficiency of producing the data, and then to have a good, technological services for the industrial application, just like the property management.
Thank you, John, for sharing your experience. So let's open to the floor for any question. Okay. So I don't think there's. So as you can see, right, in SCA market it is still in the early stages. So in other words, there are still a lot of opportunities for these technologies in the market. However, in like property management and smart city especially, it requires a lot of adoption of these technologies, especially in this industry which is more traditional. So we can't expect changes can happen overnight, right? So thank you for Eugene, Shakib, and also John for sharing the perspective of how AI, indoor traceability, and also indoor spatial to.
Yeah. Lucille, do you mind? There is one question in the Q&A session. Can you check?
Sorry. Oh, okay. There's one question from Joanna. Thanks for the insightful sharing. How do you help clients to apply their actionable insights and implement data-driven changes? So I think Eugene will be a perfect.
I think it's more towards our side, but yeah, John and Jacob, feel free to add more points after my feedback on this. So I think that's a very good point, how exactly we help clients to drive their data-driven strategies. So one use case I can actually share is that we have tested with property management groups key tenant that we want to help them to perform an A/B test throughout a festival period, which is like roughly 2 weeks long. So turns out like they don't actually have anything to monitor like how their shop is operating, like from the VM, like the visual merchandising, how their products are being placed, to the point like how many staffs are serving each area. Like all these metrics were not there. So we had roughly 1 to 2 weeks to prepare for this, and we have our system all set up. Like we know how the visitors behave, we know how, like what's the demographics of the visitors, but like on their like operations side, we don't have anything. So we helped the operation team like hand in hand. Like we drafted the proposal together, we asked them a lot of things on how do they operate, and if we can do this, if we can do ABC, etc. So like we plan out all these with them. We have an analyst like just to work with them, and then like throughout the period we were successfully able to have 2 versions of the shop, like product placement and the staff schedule, so that we were able to perform something very similar to A/B testing, like how you perform A/B testing online, like say on a platform. Say like if you access Facebook at certain times, like you may see a slightly different version. That's the A/B testing, and it's used to test how online users use the functions differently. And this can be applied offline as well, like how the shop will behave, or like how will the visitors actually react to the changes of the shop. So we were successfully carrying out the A/B test throughout those 2 weeks, and we got the metrics, we got the KPIs, and we found out, okay, actually one version is better. And we dig deep with the client, asking a lot of like questions, like why would this be better? Like why the sales grew, and then what were the demographics back then, and do they match your target audience, etc. So like all these actions we have done after the event like actually proves the ROI on like for the client themselves. So they know, okay, so they set up this system to monitor all these behaviors, and now the ROI will be like how much sales I actually got. And this to the property management group is also very important, is because like how well your tenant performs actually directly like correlate on how well your mall performs. So like they are in like they have common ground of interest, and like by helping both the client and the shopping mall implementing these strategies, like that's how our system like make our clients more successful in terms of their operation and like satisfaction.
Thank you, Eugene. Dr. John, do you want to share your thoughts on this?
Yeah, and actually we are kind of smart city infrastructure. Okay, we have our customer, you know, to do the mapping, and then we provide the map services and positioning services for the customer. And we have the Hong Kong government, okay, and then like the Lands Department of Hong Kong or the Economic Development Bureau, okay, to digitize the buildings, okay, and for example, like the subway or the MTR, you know, the station, okay, and those are shopping mall connected together, and then so these most of the property, you know, developer in Hong Kong is also a customer for their shopping mall or car parks, okay. And one of the application that is developed by us and the Hong Kong Buy Union is that we developed an app called the barrier-free application, Smart City Walk. Okay, that is for blind people to navigate in the cities. Okay, that cover 150, you know, shopping mall, hospital, and MTR, that kind of premises. And we also now happen the working with the Kawasaki heavy industry in Japan. We try to digitize all the buildings in Japan, and together with the positioning system for them. Okay, one is for commercial usage. The other is actually for the next disaster management. Okay, for example, when you have anything, you know, happening, okay, then the fireman can find the last positioning of the citizen, so that they can have immediate assistance, okay, to them. So these are some of the applications that we are producing to, you know, to our customer. So I mean, and also one is actually we use our system to develop this kind of a device, okay, for the indoor, okay, outdoor, and then for the exact checking, and then for the people checking for the elderly. I want to solve the problem. Where does the, you know, a person fall? Okay, where and fall? So I mean that we try to use this kind of AI, embedded technology to help to solve the, a much bigger scale type of problem, like the elderly, fall problem of industrial accident problem, okay, the city-based or national-based that kind of navigation, okay, and then we also have to develop some kind of app for the tourists to use, within the city, or for the nation, okay. So this kind of application is a demonstration, a kind of a digital twins, okay, for the future use, okay, and then we are trying to develop some kind of partner to use a similar kind of data for the metaverse or location-based game like a common goal type of a game, to play around, okay, to bring the the pedestrian flow to the shopping mall, something like that. So I mean, we are doing infrastructure data and the services, so a lot of our clients can use the data to have different kind of applications. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. John, and thank you, Eugene, for sharing the real-life application that can be implemented by data and also maps. And also thank you, Shakib, for joining us today. And it's my pleasure to join MPA. Thank you, MPA, for organizing such an impactful event for the panelists to share their insights and also their technology here. Okay.
Thank you, Lucille, to facilitate this session. We want to special thank to Hong Kong Science and Technology Park as well to putting this session together, and thank you Blackstorm also to helping to set this up. Thank you all the speakers, and it has been very insightful and about AI and how it actually improve the overall environment and the society. And this morning until now, I think we have a lot of information. I think everyone have their mind-blowing knowledge now. So we will take around 15 minutes break now. The next session will be 4:15. Speakers, thank you, and we shall meet again. Thank you so much. So audience, thank you. Thank you.